In front of us today, we have a 1994 Bronco. We're going to be doing the 05 front axle swap, which I think will be pretty cool with a 4-link. We're going to put in a 12 valve, an MB4500, and an MP205. I might throw the SUPERDUTY rear end under the back as well. Not sure on that one yet. We have the Ride Motorsports short arm 4-link kit. Comes with the coil buckets. Really nicely made. We got the 4-link brackets on the frame. The arms, I've already screwed these all in. Screwed in pretty nice. There's one just had a little piece of weld splatter in it. Had to scrape out with a pick. Other than that, they were all threaded in by hand really nice. Got the stainless brake lines, track bar, bracket. Came with all the hardware. I got the adjustable track bar as well. These go in your coils for your springs to go around, and your sway bar adapters to go from the forward frame to the 05 sway bar. Oh, and that's for your track bar as well. And that's the same with that. Adjuster, or the pitman arm to adapt from the Bronco steering box, but I might use the 05 box. I'm not sure on that one yet. We're gonna find out on that. So for this, I'm probably just gonna end up cutting these 3 bolts off. Then the whole bracket will come down with the sway bar. I already broke with the stock bolts off. And then we're gonna have to cut these rivets out. There's one here. There's one down here. And then there's 2 right here. Do that on both sides. And then you gotta cut these buckets off. So once I cut those buckets off and clean up the frame rails, we'll get to installing this beautiful stuff. Here we have the 05 Ford frame I bought with the axles and everything. Again, in Canada, quite rusty. We'll get all sandblasted and whatnot after. It's not terrible. Like, I have all the parts mostly. I did notice yesterday that I'm missing a caliper over here. I'm gonna put new calipers on it anyway, so that's not a real big deal. I got some new tires kicking around for it already. Well, new used tires, just for mock-up set of 35s. I'm gonna tear this down, cut the U-bolts, take all the stuff I need off of it, like unbolt the radius arm, and just undo the shock, take the coil out, probably unbolt the steering box, undo the steering, and drag that into the shop, and start bolting stuff together. Here we go. Okay, so we got all the front suspension off, popped all those rivets out, just had to unbolt some of the front suspension components in here. That was the only thing I forgot to mention. I ended up just wire wheeling the frame quick, you know, get all the rust off, or at least the most of it for now. And we're going to work on getting, actually I'm going to pop the steering box off right now, just those 3 bolts right there. And then I think I'm going to mount the lower 4-link bracket on the frame right now. And we'll get to that. Okay, so we got the bracket. This hole goes 3 5/8 from here over here. I just marked out with a Sharpie. Should go something like that. I'm just going to take this clamp. Get that clamped on all nice and flat here. And then we're going to drill all these holes, 3 holes in the bottom. I'll do that both sides and we'll be back.
Four to 6 weeks later.
Okay, back in the shop after a couple weeks. Got some suspension components on, and we're gonna show you what all got done here. Got these mounted up. They're just snugged up with a small impact. That way I can finish drilling holes. 3 holes go on the bottom here. These are just loosely bolted on. Same thing there. I got these up. Actually, this bolt hole is already here. It's about maybe a 1/4 inch back from where it should be, but I figured just reuse that bolt hole. It's all nice and snug up in here. You can see I gotta finish cutting that rivet off after, but works out pretty nice. Nice and tight up in there. I gotta drill the 2 holes in the bottom of this after. Then these 4 and that one there. Got that aluminum circle I showed you earlier mounted up in there. Fits really nice, like perfect length bolt. Right here, like it's pretty good there. Might just throw a bead of sealant in there after that, when no dirt gets down there whenever it's back on the road. Same thing on this side. Sway bar links ended up these 3 holes, or those 2 holes, sorry. They lined up with this bracket perfectly. They're loose for now. I'm gonna tighten those up just with an impact, just for mock-up. Same thing over here. Gotta do a track bar bracket still and drill out these for the SUPERDUTY box. Right now I'm gonna work on getting the rest of the holes in these and the rest of the holes in those brackets. And when that's done, do the track bar. Let's get to it. Okay, so we got those all bolted up. Didn't do those, probably do those tomorrow night. I'm gonna zip these tires off and throw the 35s on these front 2 tomorrow. Here are 35s. They're used, you know. I just picked them up for sizing. That way I can figure out whereabouts I want this to sit for height. Not sure if I want to put 2.5 inch lift springs yet or not, but I'm gonna have to definitely lift the rear. These are just the stock 05 Ford rims. I drug the rear axle in last night and ripped tires off it. Somehow blew a hole in the cover here. Little JB weld to fix that, nothing big. Gonna roll this back outside until we get this frame spun around. And then throw the wheels on it right now. Still gotta finish drilling holes in those. That's why those are off right now. I got this track bar just mocked up, the bracket. The only issue I'm having is I don't like the way that sits. So I'm thinking about cutting that little piece of steel right there, just up to here. Then I can weld that after. That's not a big deal. Like over here, kind of already got a Sharpie mark, you can see there. I'll just bring it down and cut there and weld it after. And it'll sit all nice up and tight, and I think that should make that fit a lot better. It's made for a 250, an F250, not a Bronco, so kind of expected a few problems, and you can see in there, not real lit up well, but that'll get us up a little higher, which I think will be a lot better. So I'm going to cut that right around there, and then we'll see how it looks. If not, I can always weld it on after. Finally got all those drilled, both sides. Looks minty. Those have been drilled. I cut this. It sits nice and tight up in there now. Just a little gap. I got about 1/8 there and 1/4 on this side because of the way that flange is. So I'm just going to build a nice spacer to sit in there. That's not tight. This bar, there's a nut welded onto it for that bolt. I think I'm just going to cut this right about here because it's hitting this head. So it'll still work good in there. It'll be a little bit shorter. The track bar, I think I ran into a small issue with that one, so I just got the factory one wedged up in there for now. I'm going to contact the company and just make sure I got it all right first before I say anything about that, and just got to press it the ball joint after. I think that pretty much wraps up the front end. Oh, and I drilled those 2 holes for the inside for that bracket. I think that's everything for the front end, minus the track bar. Well, that's going to be the end of this video. Hope you liked it and stuck around for this whole thing. Next video, we're going to be putting in the engine somewhere in this area. Got my engine mounts, those are going in. I'll probably throw the transmission on and we'll go from there. Thank you for sticking around. Have a good one.